Hi there, Serial Trader here. Let's do a little checkup on Bitcoin. And, well, seems to have been another false start from what was initially looking like a potential promising new uptrend. We had a nice one up, we had a nice two down, had a very good looking third wave up, right? We were expecting this fourth wave, and the must hold level for that was to stay above this wave one extreme as it was labeled at 68.39.40. And we had a few things. We had this 618 retracement. It seemed to have some reaction off of, and then failed there. It had the overlap. Then we had the 786 retracement. Failed there. We have this base channel from the initial move up and move down. We got below the base channel. We have this corrective channel. Well, what was originally looking like a corrective channel. Now this is actually a base channel that we've cleanly broken out of. Looks like a very strong decline in some sort of third wave. So let's just clean this all up. So despite initially looking pretty good, this is broken down and potential to make a lower low below our absolute low here, which I believe, see if we can get the exact number, 57.55 here on Bitfinex. So the chances of that being taken out are pretty reasonable now. We lost this support here, which broke the higher low pattern we had on this shorter time frame, 4-hour time frame, and that came in at 6,079.90. We lost that. So really the only two support levels left are, well, let's just call them around 5,700, as they're both right around this same area. So the chance that that's going to hold, not that high. So really, if we just clean this all up, since everything has been voided for the most part, get rid of all this stuff. Now we're really just looking at, despite having this, third wave look to it initially, we just have a three-wave move up, ABC up. And we're coming down in a new wave, potentially to test or make new lows. That's certainly what looks to be happening from my perspective currently. So we have an ABC up. And now we're coming down in some sort of a one down, two up. Let's throw some labels down here. One down, two up. The entirety of this might be a really extended third, okay? Maybe at some point soon we'll have a little fourth wave bounce and then make a fifth wave, potentially make new lows here. Really hard to say at this point how low it will go, or whether it'll just make a slight new low or just bounce off this bottom here. If it does hold and start coming back up, that could be a bottom fishing play. But at this point, there's certainly no confidence trying to do something like that. And I'll just point out, so if we go to the daily, well, maybe the weekly will make this more apparent. So on the weekly chart here, yeah, that's fine. Anything below, anything below that kind of 10,000 level was just another lower high. And that's all we've done. We put in a lower high. We went as high as 8,506. So just another lower high below 10,000. So the lower high pattern just continues here on the weekly chart. So we're not even going to start changing this weekly trend until we start breaking that lower high pattern. Which at this point, after we make whatever bottom we're going to make here on this down move, to start breaking that lower high pattern, we have to get above this previous high we just made at 8,506. And then at that point, come down whenever it stopped, make a higher low above wherever we're going to bottom here if we get past the previous low we put in, around 5,700. And at that point, only then will we start changing the trend. So we're still nowhere near doing that. And just this whole weekly chart just tells it all. Nothing but false starts so far, although it also shows that the downside gets less and less violent each time, and we just can't really. So far, we haven't been able to get much below 6,000 despite some multiple attempts at it. So we'll see if that takes place again. But at this point, from a trading perspective, I don't really see anything too exciting on Bitcoin. Wouldn't be surprising to have some sort of reasonable sized oversold bounce here anytime, really. But that's just not that attractive to me for a trade setup. I really want to see this thing starting to change the trend, and it appeared though as though on this 4-hour chart and even the daily to a certain degree we were starting to change the trend, and now we've just come right back down and put that into some serious question. At least we haven't actually broken the lows, but boy, we're not far away, and we've certainly broken basically every support level except the absolute low here. So we'll have to see how this progresses. Still no big involvement here as far as big trade goes. Just have the core holdings, and let's see, we're in August now, so we're well into this 2018 year, and this is kind of making me think we might have a little longer to go here in this correction. And by what I mean, so if we go to the weekly chart, and I'll have to put this into log scale since we're in such a price difference. So this pullback we had, so I can even get this to fit properly here. Okay, that's not bad. So this pullback we had here, way long time ago. So we peaked in 2013 near the end of the year, and then we actually finally ended this. Let's see here, 2015. So wow, yeah, that's well over a year of a correction. Well over, maybe like a year and a half, maybe a little more than that. So if this was a one up, right? Where's, if I can find the wave 2? Where did it go now? Our wave 2 is missing of that degree. All right, so yeah, so we have this 1 up, 2 down, and typically, if this is going to be a matching 4, it should be proportional in the time it consumes. And as you can see, we consumed a lot more time in this second wave than we have so far in this fourth wave. So as long as this correction has seemed, if it ends up being proportional to the second wave, which would certainly be typical in an Elliott sequence, there could be a whole lot more left in this correction. Maybe not price-wise, but I'm just saying time-wise. So time-wise, if I just line this up here from this all-time high we had, where does this take us? That's that's I think September of 2019 would be kind of an equivalent amount of time consumed in this correction as we had in this one over here. Now, it doesn't necessarily have to consume the same amount of time, but the whole guideline for proportionality with Elliott is that it's proportional. And right now, I mean, this is just a fraction the amount of time that we consumed in that one. So that's a little concerning. That tells me there might be a whole lot more left to this correction if we end up adhering to that guideline. So just some food for thought. I'd certainly prefer that not to be the case, but you got to kind of mentally prepare yourself that, well, that could very well take place, and maybe we're nowhere near done this Bitcoin and overall cryptocurrency correction. Also, another thing I'll mention is that even though Bitcoin hasn't made a new low yet, a lot of other cryptocurrencies have made new lows, which definitely favors Bitcoin following suit and doing the same here. But we'll have to judge that as it happens. But yeah, let's keep an eye on this. But really nothing actionable at the moment. Even though we initially had this promising looking short-term action, it failed to materialize in anything longer term and bigger. And we're just coming right back, giving it all back very quickly. All right. Serial Trader signing off.